everyone, I'm Ebony and welcome to my channel. So today's Floss Tube Extra. I will be going through all my previously finished items. I do have some more that are in with the Christmas decorations up in the loft, so they're not going to be out today, but I was having a bit of a clear out. It's getting to that time of year for me where I like to really get in every cupboard and get rid of stuff that I don't use, I haven't used, and I was doing that and I came across my finishes. So I've been promising a video, so here I am doing it. So I wanted to start with the very first cross stitch I ever did, which was a free chart from, I got it off the Fat Quarter Shop website, and I think it might be from Tiny Modernist or Little Dove Designs. Before I started cross stitching, I did quilt, so a lot of the things that I started off with were from the Fat Quarter Shop or things that they were stitching on their cross stitch channel. So it's a freebie, like I said, and it's on this really stiff aider. I got this from Hobbycraft. I think it's 14 count. I think I just used my own colours. In fact, I don't even think this was DMC. I think this was the really cheap embroidery thread that comes in a pack from Hobbycraft, because I didn't know I was going to like it. So I started with this. I picked my own colours. I think they might be similar to what they call for. And, oh, I've got a thread here. There's going to be a lot of stray threads today because these have all been in storage. This took me ages because I was still quilting. So I'd quilt in my dining room, and then I wanted something that I could go into the living room in the evening and be with my family and keep my hands busy. So this would only come out every now and then. But yeah, this Ada, horrible. And I remember it smelling, like when I ironed it, when I finished it, it doesn't smell anymore. But it's had like a fishy smell, so no, don't recommend. So I thought I'd start with that, and then quickly after that I started something else from the Fat Quarter Shop. And obviously from this I had ideas of finishing it into something, because I added these little corners, probably into a little pouch or something, but that never happened. Another very stiff piece. And this is a free chart, I think, put out by the Fat Quarter Shop, or by It's So Emma, which is their charting company name. And I think these were called Patchwork something or other. Anyway, this was the Free Love Heart one, and I just picked colours out of that same embroidery packet that I bought from Hobbycraft. 14 count Ada, that same stiff one. And I remember I started up here somewhere, and I remember one of these taking about an hour, and I was saying to my husband, this is going to take me forever. And if you look, it is actually really small. If I stitch this now, I wouldn't have the same comments. So after those, none of these are in any particular order. I'm going to start with the ones that are fully finished, and then we'll move on to ones that aren't fully finished. So I used to fully finish my cross stitch. I used to display them here in my dining room. My aesthetic has since changed, so I don't really do that anymore, but they're still here. Some of them have been like deassembled. Some of them are still how I left them. So if I can remember the name of the designer and the name of the chart, I will let you know. If I don't remember, then I don't remember. So I do apologise in advance if there is anything that you were after. And hopefully I'll remember fabrics and stuff like that. But my first fully finished one is this piece from Primrose Cottage. This is part of their B series. I think it's called ABC. And I love this series. I just got this, what is this? This frame thing. I think it had something to do with like laundry printed inside, like for a laundry room. And I just put foam board in with this fabric and this, and then some ribbons. But it's still really cute. I still really like it. So I do want to keep everything with the hopes that one day I'll have my own dedicated craft space, a little room where I can craft and film, and hopefully I can have things like this as decoration. But as it is now, I'm just not, I'm not putting, I might put a few out each video, it depends. Anyway, in the same series, I made these little cushions, pillows. Oh, that's the back. So this one I think is called Summer Wishes. And these are just filled with like polyfills, are things that you put in your wall, I think. That toy stuffing stuff. Anyway, so I just put a bit of rickrack, stitched that down the side, and did that. Yeah, I think these are closed at the bottom, and then I had this piece of fabric from my previous quilt I'd made. I used to have a massive fabric stash. I've since destashed it, but yeah, so I used that for that one. The next one is Happy, I think this is called Be Kind, but I'm not sure. Primrose Cottage stitches. These are all done on 32 count white Lugana. I put the rickrack down the sides, so it's like pops out, and on the back. And this one I stitched down the back. I was trying a new method. And then the last one, I did do the other one in the series, which I think is Kind Words, but I give that away as a gift to a family member. So these are the ones that I kept. I think this one's called Be Nice. Called for colours, 32 count white Lugana. This is like a tone on tone colour. I think, yeah, it's got little polka dots. I don't know if you can see that. Super cute. I used to have these in this basket here. I don't know if you can see it. It's now full of like paperwork and junk basically. But I used to have that on my dining table with little finishes in. So that's the end of that series. And then along in the basket I had this is from Stitching with the Housewives. It's one of their seed packets out of that series. I did the strawberry seeds. This is on a 25 count white Lugana, and I think I changed the colours. They had it on a black fabric, so this basket was supposed to be white. Obviously I was doing it on a white fabric, so I changed that out and probably just picked colours that were similar to what they had. And on the back is this cute fabric. These fabrics as well, these were so expensive. These are all Moda fabrics, and I don't, if you quilt you probably know, but these are not cheap fabrics, and I used to just chop them into little bits for cross stitch finishes instead of using scraps. I wouldn't do that now. This little pillow would go in the basket. This is from Lizzy Kate. I think this might just be called B. I'm not sure. This is on a 32 count platinum Lugana from Zweigart, and I picked my own colours for this. This one's stitched at the bottom. Oh, you can see the little like toy stuffing that's coming out of the seams, and a bit of rickrack, and then that fabric on the back. And then the last little cushion finish is Lizzy Kate. I think it might be called Busy as a Bee, and this is another little cushion. I love these. I should display them really, because they're just stuck in a box, and I still think they're really cute. It's just that since I went down the minimalism route, I find it so easy to keep on top of my house now, and with bits of trinkets and stuff like that, that's what adds extra stress for me. So for now, this part of my life is not really something that I want to do, is have things about, but maybe in the future when I have a bit more time, it's something that I can think about. Anyway, the next one is like a partially fully finished. I put it on some board, and I think I did display it like this, but it's not in a frame or anything. This is Hello Spring by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I think I picked my own colours for this. This is looks like a 25 count white Lugana. So yeah, I just picked my own colours. And this bow. Obviously I was into all the really cutesy things. I'm not so much into this stuff anymore, but I still think they're cute. The next one is by Cottage Needleworks. This foam board looks like it's seen better days, but it has been in storage, so it's probably been battered about a bit. This is called Singing in the Spring. I don't know if you can see, but it's a bit lumpy, but I can just pull it apart and refinish it if I decide to display it. I love this piece. I remember stitching on this and really enjoying it. I think I picked my own colours, similar to what was called for. Back then I didn't have like a master set or even an extensive collection of threads. I just kind of used what I had, but I think that turned out really cute. I love these little music notes. I've got another one that's along the same lines of this one from Cottage Needleworks. Then, having to reach now. In fact, give me a second, I'll just get the pile over. I'm back, sorry. I just brought the pile closer to me so I wasn't reaching every single one. I've got all my little hairs coming out. I've not got hairs coming out my ears, it's just from there. Anyway, this one was a stitch along I did. I think this was my first stitch along which I participated in, and I did it with Fat Quarter Shop. I think the pattern is from Little Dove Designs, and it is called Stationery Addict. And I just popped it in a frame. You can see my friction pen marks where I didn't even iron it off. But I had this on display for the longest time. There's a lot of back stitching here. I remember I stitched this in hand. All the previous ones that I've shown you, I've stitched in hand. I used to use the sewing method. And I remember this one. I think this is the last one that I stitched in hand because I just wasn't happy with how messy my stitches are. But when I look at it, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not great, but sorry for the glare, you can see. I'm in front of a window, well, in front of the patio doors. But I had this displayed for well over a year. I love it. I'm very much an organisation person. I love stationery and more digital now that like digital things are more a thing. Like I do a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of planning, but this is like, oh, when I was a kid I would love a little stationery set like this. But this is just in a frame from the range, I think. That's that one. The next one is, so that one is stitched on Ada actually. This is a 14 count Ada, white. The next one is from Primrose Cottage Stitches. I think it's called Carrot Farm. The finishing, I love the finishing, but it's a bit battered. Like I said, they've been stuck in a box. Hopefully it comes across well on camera. This is stitched on a 32 count Silver Moon Lugana from Zweigart, and I think I used the call for colours on this one. I might have picked my own, who knows. But I just got this board. This would have said something on it, and it was already like whitewashed. It's got like a little twine hanger, so I matched that with the bow. The bow's all squashed. Got these little carrots and tied them on, and so cute. That is so cute. I don't care. But Oh my god. Loving my own work here. But this would sit in the basket at the back in spring, and then I'd have all the little cushions in front. So super cute. But I'll never pick that to stitch now. There is a rabbit in here and a rabbit in here, but the white you can't really see. But I obviously wasn't bothered. So there's that one. This one still gets displayed at Christmas. It has come off the board, off the frame, because it's just mounted on top of the frame, but I can glue that back down around Christmas when I'm ready to display it. This one is by Cottage Needleworks. That was very much my style, Country Cottage and Primrose Cottage and Fat Quarter Shop. So you'll see quite a few of them. But this one is stitched on 32 count Desert Opalescent Lugana from Zweigart. And this is my finish. Look, this board, it's a frame, obviously. I took the glass out. I was going to frame it in the glass, but it was a bit tight. So I just mounted it onto here and that gets glued on. Obviously it's come off in storage, but I just use this to stand it up, and this sits in my front room at Christmas. So I think this is so cute. I love it. So, and I don't know if you can see that the fabric is sparkly. Oh, so that one still gets displayed. Oops. Anything that's fully finished that is Christmas themed, I do display at Christmas. Like I said, there is some more in storage, but I'll show you those around Christmas when we're getting our tree out of the loft. The next one is by Little Dove Designs, I think, or Tiny Modernist. I always get them two mixed up. And I think it is called Warm Winter Wishes, but I'm not too sure. It is like a long sampler style. Pull it back. And this is stitched on 32 count Platinum. Yeah, Platinum Lugana from Zweigart. I love Platinum Lugana as a neutral on these, like more cutesy prim type things. They're not prim, but yeah, this one's getting loose. I can feel it wobbling. And this is all the called for colours. I remember how excited I was to get this pattern. I admired it for a long time. These are like Smyrna crosses, but with like, I think there were 3 strands, so they're like 3D. And there's French knots up here. Oh no, they're cross stitches, but the eye of the reindeer is a French knot. What else is there on here? Some more of those, well, a different style, but the same kind of thing. Super cute. Aw, Santa's eye's gone a bit weird. It's okay. Looks like he's had a bit of brandy before when he comes down the chimney. So, yes. So back to foam board. I think this frame was black. Yeah, it was black, and I painted it white. And oh, that is way coming off. It looks like I've got some gluing to do before Christmas. And foam core at the back with fabric, foam core again, and then the piece mounted on top of that. And I think that is so cute. And it is quite tall, so this gets like propped up on the floor as like a floor piece, and it's really cute at Christmas. And then the last fully finished one is Snow Village. This is by Country Cottage Needleworks. I used Kimberly's conversion from Fat Quarter Shop. She stitched this. I admired it for a long time, but now I probably would use a different fabric, but I have it. The frame, it doesn't really fit in the frame, but it works. And I did 1 part a month on this for the finish at the end of the year. I didn't put in the back stitched banner lines because I couldn't get them to lie straight, but I think it's fine without them. This is 18 count Ada in Petit Point, I think it's called, by Zweigart. And like I said, using all of Kimberly's thread choices. Hers are a bit more, they're like less saturated than like the red for their red was a real Christmas red. This is more of like a corally red. And all the colours were changed, but that's one that I can remember. So there's that. The rest of them are just finishes. They're not fully finished. So some of them you would have seen because I've finished them since I started my channel, and then others were way before that. So I know this one you've seen because I was working on it when I was filming. This is Happily Ever After by Emma Congdon. This was in a magazine. I stitched this for mine and my husband's anniversary, our wedding anniversary. So I put in our initials there at the bottom and the date we got married. And I love this piece. I really need to get it framed. Cute. That was a lot of work. And the back stitch was annoying. Like, these are like long stitches, but they look good, so I'm happy with it. So the reason why I actually got all these out was because I needed to figure out a new storage plan. These hairs are really annoying me. Because these are in this door here, it goes down into our cellar, and at the top of the stairs there I have like a shelving unit, and they were in there, but that is quite a high traffic area. That's where our coats go, and my husband's golf stuff and stuff like that, wellies. So I would rather use that space for something that's more immediately in use rather than like long-term storage. So I'm trying to figure out where to put these. So I thought I'd get them out and show them you while I was doing that. So now everywhere's like a bomb site because I've pulled everything out, and I've just decided to sit in the middle of all the rubbish around me and start filming. So I've got a lot of work to do when I finish filming. The next one is from It's So Emma and the Fat Quarter Shop, and it is called Peppermint Lane, I think. And that is this one. This was on a 16 count fabric flare in silver sparkles. This is the most not sparkly sparkle. All the sparkles come off it, so it was coming off while I was stitching it. But this was a stitch along that I joined in with. Very cute. Very much not my style anymore, but still cute. This was a lot of stitching as well. I remember all the block stitching, and getting that border done as I went around was like a huge thing for me to be able to get it done. But it is cute. So there is that one. The next one is a Country Cottage Needleworks again. It is the Gingerbread Village, and it is stitched on 32 count platinum Lugana. And here's that finish. This is using all the code for colours, but I didn't put the buttons on. I'm not too keen on the buttons. So on the chart, the buttons, you can either use the buttons or stitch the item that the button represents. So I just stitched them. So I think these gingerbread men were supposed to be buttons, and a few other bits along. In each house there was one button. But I did this one again, one a month. And yeah, cute. These are huge as well, you know, like they're actually really large pieces. And there were a lot of stitches. They're like solid. So that's that one. The next one I've shown on my channel before. It is Pumpkin Colour Autumn by Our Forest Embroidery, and I stitched this using my own colours on 40 count Lugana or even weave, 40 count even weave from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, and she doesn't name her fabrics, but you can't really see the white. You can see it more in person. There, you can see it a bit more if I turn it. Yeah, I used all my own colours, and I did make a couple of changes. So there is 2 cats in this chart, and I don't like cats. So there is one up here. There's supposed to be a cat here, and I just used an acorn from further down in the chart. And I think there's supposed to be one here, and I just used a leaf from somewhere else in the chart, I think here. So I took the cats out, but everything else is as charted. Cute. That would be so nice, like if I was filming in a frame or however finished in the background. It would be nice to display my stitching in my videos. So one day. The next one is a little ornament chart from Cottage Needleworks. I used a scrap of the Petty Point Ada and whatever leftover threads I had. I think this is called Snow Love. There is loads of mistakes in this one. I couldn't get this right at the time, so I just left it. But yeah, cute. The next one is a small ornament from Stitching with the Housewives. This, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's stitched on 14 count black Ada, and I've got something to put behind it. Look at the hoop mark. This, I do not like black Ada. This is, I found it does that, and it leaves like marked where Q snaps and stuff have been. So, but if I finished it, I would have it in here, so you wouldn't see that. But I don't know why it does that. Yeah. The next one is by Laurie Holt. This, I admired this for so long. This is one of the reasons why I started stitching, and it's because I wanted this piece. Like I said, I used to quilt, so anything sewing related, I really wanted to stitch, and I learned to stitch so I could stitch this piece. However, it's a hot mess, and I didn't finish it. I didn't put the buttons on it, but it is, I think it's called She Believed She Could. Oh, it might be called So She Did. I don't know. But I was just looking at it, and where was that stitch? Here. I don't know if you can see that, but they were all like pulled and jacked up. But this is on a 14 count Ada. I was trying to figure out where, oh, this is DMC. I did not like this fabric. I remember it being like really open weave. When I was working on it, I stitched this all in hand using the sewing method, and I really loved this when I did it. That sewing machine was huge amount of stitches. It's supposed to have buttons up along the top and in here, in these, and maybe one here, but I wanted to stitch that for a long time, and I stitched it and never did anything with it. This is another finish that you've seen before. I finished this in April of this year. This is it's called Santa on the P. It is from Kori Ibatakori, and it is on 32 count pearl grey even weave, and I used all the called for colours, and it's cute. Let me see if I can see. When I show you, I can't see, so hopefully you can see some of the details. The next one is another one from Laurie Holt. This is This was a stitch along as well called So Happy, and this, I do want to display this one day in my own crafting area. Yeah, it was a stitch along with Fat Quarter Sharp, and I stitched it on 25 count white Lugana 2/2. Everything I've shown you so far, I think everything today is 2/2, apart from the 40 count, which was 1/2. But I used to only ever stitch 2/2. And this is that one finished. So I did add the buttons onto this one. I just used buttons that I had from like mixed bags of buttons that I'd picked up, and all the code 4 colours. So that'll be cute one day in my own little craft room. But for now, I've got nowhere to put it, so I don't really want to frame everything up or mount them on things and then have, they're just harder to store that way. So the next one is by Stitching with the Housewives. This is on a 14 count black Ada, and it is Mrs. Claus's Bakery. Again, this black Ada is all marked up. It is Zygarde, so I don't know, but you can see the hoop mark, you can see these like scratch marks where the, I used to switch between a hoop and a Q-snap because I didn't know which one I preferred, from stitching in hand then going to using a frame. I used to use both, and since then I've decided I prefer Q-snap. So, but this was a lot of stitching as well, but it is cute. I want to put this on like a biscuit tin at Christmas, which will probably be empty because I don't want people's biscuit fingers on my stitching. So the next one is by Little House Needleworks. I don't know which one's, this is called Lantern Lane actually, and it is on an 18 count vintage country mocha from Zygarde, and that's that one. So obviously I finished this in 2023 because I dated it. So this is using all the code 4 colours. I think this was one of the first ones that I bought hand-dyed threads for, and this red is, I think it might be, is it a Weeks? Yeah, that's a Weeks Dye Works thread that's code 4, and mine had hardly any variegation, whereas on the model that is rarely variegated, so I remember being disappointed about that. But I have good variegation in the tree. But yeah. So that's 2/2 on 18 count. The next one is from Fat Quarter Shop. This was one of their charity stitch alongs. They do a stitch along for Make a Wish each year. Well, they used to, I'm not sure if they still do. And this is the only one I ever really wanted to stitch, so I joined in. I did make some changes. This is the Heartfelt stitch along. Oh, the sun is, it's like reflecting off the window over the road. I've moved you over a little bit because the sun is reflecting off a window and it's annoying me. So I changed where the blues are, there were 2 blues. I changed them because they were charted to be green and I didn't want green. Oh, that sun is so annoying. So there is that. This is on a 32 count Silver Moon Lugana from Zygarde. I like that as a neutral as well for non-full coverage. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, the sun was glaring on a window across the road and I've had to move rooms. So we're in my stitchy spot. So I was up to Flea Market Flowers. This is by Laurie Hall and I'm stitching it on a 25 count Lugana in Silver Moon, using all the code 4 colours. This one took me quite a while. These flowers have more stitching in than what you might think, but I admired this for quite a while before I started it. Yeah, if I was to do it now, I'd probably do it over one, but yes, I've got nowhere to put these now. This one is by Fat Quarter Shop. It is called Starlit Snowflake. It was fully finished in like a frame. I've since deassembled it and it is now just on a foam core board. But this is on a 14 count pewter Ada from Zweigart. Ugh, Fred. And it is not sparkly, but there is glitter on this from the ribbon I used from finishing it. But it doesn't bother me. So there is that one. The next one is a Barbara Anna. It is called Dreaming Mrs. Claus, and I stitched this on a 16 count slate blue Ada using all the code 4 colours and the crown neck, and I love it. I really like this one. This is one that I would probably still choose to stitch this now. There is a lot in these series, in the series of the Dreaming girls, but this one is my favourite. So, and I like it on this fabric as well. The next one was my first venture into linen. As you know, I don't stitch on linen, so obviously it didn't go that well. It is by Lizzy Kate. I think this was in a magazine, and it says, "May your days be merry and bright." The lion is adjusting. This is a 28 count linen in natural, I think, from Zweigart, and I can't remember if I used the code 4. I used the code 4, but I think I got these two colours switched around, but I wasn't bothered. So I didn't really like the linen. It's very like see-through, as you can see, and it's like mushy, like it moves a lot. It's not very sturdy. Next one is called Kaleidoscope. This is from the Laurie Hull quilt book, which was called Kaleidoscope also, and it is stitched on a 20 count even weave 1/1, and I used the colours that Kimberly used. They're really pretty colours. I think this was one of the first times I used 1/1, and I loved it. It's so neat. Yeah. The next one is also one the same 20 count in white 1/1, and this is by Fat Quarter Shop, and it is called Granita. This is based on a quilt that they did. I didn't do the quilt, but I did the cross stitch, and I'm not sure if they had a few colourways in this one, but I did the original blues. I know they had different colourways for the Starlit Snowflake that I've shown you, but both of them I chose blue because I love blue. The next one, I have no name for the pattern. I bought a little bundle off a D-Stash page, and this chart was like a pull out of a magazine in there. None of it was in English, it was in Russian. The magazine pull out was in Russian, and I have no idea what it's called, where it came from. I just had it. So it is stitched 32 count white 2/2 in all the code 4 colours. I love this one. I had to stitch it. When I seen it, oh my god. Like, if there was a sampler that I would stitch, it would be something like this. or it's like Quaker, but it's like geometric. I just love it. So it's all pinks and greens, very spring. Now this will look so good in a frame on the wall. I just need a dedicated space for it. So, yeah, sorry, I can see my son out the window. He's playing out in the front garden and he's watching me. Can't get away from him. He's been off all week from school, and when he's off, he's really clinging. So I kicked him out into the front garden and he's watching me now through the window. The next one is called, I think it's just called, oh, it's called Ornament Joy, I think, or Joy Ornament. It is from Cottage Needleworks or Little House Needleworks, and I just used the leftover scrap of the 32 count platinum Lugana. I think it's in the called for colours, but I might have just used threads that I used in my Gingerbread Village because it looks like them colours. You can see the snowflakes. Yeah, my margins are really tight on this one. I stitched this in hand, so the margins weren't an issue for getting it in a hoop or anything, but they might be a bit tight for finishing. But I wanted to use this piece of fabric and this fit on it perfectly. So there is that. Cute. Oops. The next one is by Cottage Needleworks. I obviously was their biggest fan a couple of years ago. So this one was from the Santa's Village. I did have plans to stitch the whole thing, but as I started that, my tastes were evolving more into full coverage, so I just did the one house. So I think this is the first one out of that series, and it is Santa's house, and I just stitched that and called it good. I didn't need the full series to... Are they French knots? Yeah. So in that wreath there, they're all French knots. These are the French knots. So yeah, I just did that. The next one is, I love this one. It is Barbara Anna. It's called Dancer. It is out of the Punch Needle and Primitive magazine, I believe. And I stitched it on the called for fabric. Let me get something behind it. On the called for fabric, and I changed the top. That had a date in it, 19 something, I think it said, and I didn't see the relevance of the date, so I charted it to say Noel, and I love it. My plan on this one was to put it in a black frame, so yeah, like the day looks like it's really looking at you. That was cute. The next one, this was like the first comings of the Bedtime Stitch that I have now. I stitched this in bed, and it wasn't something that I would stitch now, but it was easy to stitch on. It's on a 14 count Ada. I think it is in the colour Nougat, but I can't be sure. And it is from L'Oreal, and it is the, what are these called? They have like the whole different colours of them now. I can't remember what they're called. But I just used this piece that I had cut off. So I just stitched the ones that I could fit. I picked my favourite ones. And these are the patriotic colours. But I liked the colours, not because of any Americana reference, but I just thought the colours were cute. What are these called? Can't remember, but they're all quilt blocks. Can't remember what they're called. The next one is like the companion piece to my Singing in the Spring that I've shown you, and this is called Springtime Serenade. It's by Cottage Needleworks. It's stitched on a 32 count Silver Moon Lugana, and I used all the colourful colours. And oh, I changed the colours of the gates actually. Them gates or fences were supposed to be in white. I think I did 712. So, because the white I couldn't see. So the light is going in and out, but this is what happens when you decide to film. It's not evening, but it's later in the day, and well, that's my finishing technique for that one. It's later in the day and the sun is setting, and not setting, but you know, it's getting lower, so the light's going in and out. This is why I always film in the morning. That's the best time for me, because you don't get no direct sunlight. It's like bright enough, but not like direct sunlight. The next one is from Barbara Anna. Again, this is on a 32 count platinum Lugana. Like I said, I bought this fabric all the time, and I ended up buying a really big cut of it because I loved it so much, and obviously used it. All the offcuts from things were then used for small, so that's why it appears quite a lot. This, I think it's called Let It Snow. I finished this in 2023, and there is my finish of that. So the white shows up, there you can see it there. Them scissors were a lot of stitching, and it is big, quite big compared to, like, when you see the pattern it looks like it's a little small. It wasn't small. So yeah, stitch that. The next one you've seen at some point, this was part of the Blue Rhapsody chart from Rosewood Manor that I decided not to stitch, but I wanted to stitch the butterfly, so I stitched it 1/1 on 25 count Lugana in the colour Silver Moon, and I just picked 2 overdyed blues out of my stash and just stitched that little butterfly. So you've seen that one. The next one is a freebie from Silver Creek Samplers. I think it is called Do Everything in Love, or that's what it says on the chart. And I stitched it on this Vintage Rose Lugana in 32 count from Zweigart, and I can't remember if I picked my own colours or I just used what was called for, but it's 3 colours, I think. Yep, 3 colours, a red and 2 pinks. The next one is a Christmas piece. It is from Stitching with the Housewives, and it is To All a Good Night. And this is the piece. This took me quite a bit. It is on 14 count black Ada. And with all the Stitching with the Housewives pieces, I used the called for DMC. I do not think it is worth to do the overdyes for these pieces. If you choose to, then you choose to, but I do not see the value in it. Because it's on black as well, I do think that you lose that variegation. But that is personal preference. I know it's that lamp that is causing the problems, but it's quite dark in here. It's not dark, but when I don't have it on, everything's like grey. The light is grey, so that's why I've still got it on. I could have used, here's my stitching light. Yeah, I love this light. It is not a stitching light, but it's got different brightnesses. It's very flexible. You can raise it up or down, and its light is like a large LED panel. So yeah, it's off Amazon. Really, really love that piece, that light. And it is very minimal looking. It's not very, like, I can fold it down, and I took it down there, and when you come in you can't see it. Anyway, the next one is from Lorry Hall. This is called Sew by Row. I stitched this on 25 count Silver Moon Lugano 2/2, and like I said, I used a quilt, so this was very much my style, I guess. Oh, we have the scissors up the top, pin cushions, sewing machines, we've got the quilt blocks, the stars, irons, spools of thread, and then fat quarter bundles. I use all the code 4 colours, and that was a ton of stitching. These quilt blocks have a lot of stitching. These sewing machines have loads of stitching. So, but yeah. And then the last one is one you've seen before. It is my Glitter Village, which I only completed 6 out of the 9, but I'm happy to call it a finish. This is stitched on 32 count Desert Opalescent Lugana from Zweigart, and focus. Is my finish on that one. I would love to get this one framed. I was watching Zuck Stitch Caroline, I think it's Caroline. I've watched her for years, and she was stitching this, and she stopped at exactly the same point as me, because I don't think she was enjoying it either. And she's had hers framed since, and it looks great. You would not even think that it was supposed to be 9. So it's got me in the mood to get things finished this video, so thank you. I don't think that will happen though, because I've got lots to do. The house is like a bomb's hit it now that I've been rifling through every cupboard and drawer and pulling things out. So I'm gonna go. I'm glad I got to show you those finishes, and now I'm gonna put them into some more long-term storage, so I can free up some space in our everyday storage areas. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed seeing something a little bit different from me, not the usual full coverage, and I will look forward to seeing you on my next update video. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.